Interesting. The dashboard didn't want autoplay. We are at 480. Well, not 480 by something. We are at 8 something by 480. So I don't think I really showed off that watercolor before. And I erased all of the stuff from before, so please give this story an ending. Young girl, I beg of you, please carry on my will to the end. And then we see somebody who we, even in the prior version, didn't meet, really. I'm going to do the same thing as last time. I'm going to show off this real quick. It looks like we have a new arrival. My name's Laylaria. It's wonderful to meet you. There should be one vacant room. I'll show you the way. There was someone staying here until a little while ago. Unfortunately, the coward took care of him. Now we have a vacant room. Please, make yourself at home. And there's still just these things in here. The demon flies, but we're not going to bother with that. Because I still want the hair. And the way to do that is still just to go over and go to the Demon King's castle. I like going into the second room just to make sure, but I'm pretty sure it's not necessary in the slightest. But yeah, at start a game, those rats are very dangerous. Really until we get our first level or first piece of gear. And this might actually be a game over. If the numbers go poorly for us. Since we started off with a hit doing 4, figured they probably wouldn't. And that's what I didn't show off last time. Was Laylaria walking through that. Now we can't go see Aaron and get a technique. Doesn't really matter though. The demon flies aren't likely to do damage to us anyway. I say as they do 4 damage off the bat. One of the nice things about grabbing all of them is it does make it more likely to receive multiple millets. I should have equipped that glass fragment before. The goal of the game is to find an ending to the unfinished Demon King Chronicle story. And this is just talking about the way the various equipment slots work. The accessory slot is probably most important. And the mole is digging. So, appropriate name. And this is just, you can see who lives in various rooms. Hikukumo, Nana Elewanto, Randolph, the person with no last name, Lilaria, who also has no last name. I'm actually going to check something real quick. I'm going to save again. What's that say right at the start? No, this could end up being spoilers. It could end up being nothing. I don't actually know what it says right at the start. It doesn't say anything. Okay, that's good. Would you like to read a story? Why don't you pick a time when everyone is in and try visiting their rooms? People will only become visitable, once we meet them out in the world. For instance, here we can meet Nana. As I gaze upon the flow of the river, I find myself at peace. And for meeting people out in the world, we get a glass fragment. The quiet flow returns to the ocean and eventually reaches the continent. I believe that the Demon King Chronicle made its way to the continent riding this current. And we're not yet ready to pass beyond that point. I believe that would basically be certain death for us, although that might also just be where the story ends. This way might be a bit dangerous. And something interesting here is this is Randolph. Randolph doesn't have a picture or doesn't have a nameplate. That's actually pretty common for Randolph. It's weird, but it's just the way his text boxes tend to work. And it only really stands out when you sit there and you look at it and you go, well, everybody else that has a name, doesn't have that same trait. Recently, because of the coward, people have gotten into the habit of locking their doors. This used to be such a peaceful island. By the way, I saw Nana Elewanto in her room just a moment ago. There is also Randolph, who is not in his room, really. And some people have a copy of a chapter of the Demon King Chronicle. It looks to be the remains of an old book. Now, I'm going to read that in just a second. But first I wanted to pick up that recipe. X month, X day, looks like he can't sleep tonight. Just like always, I start reading the story of the White Dragon to him. Normally he's such an apathetic kid, but when he hears this story, his eyes light up. When the hero defeats the dragon, he's usually already fast asleep. It's been exactly 4 years since I took him in. His body's still a little on the weak side. I want to raise him to be strong. And so this is presumably from the viewpoint of whoever raised Randolph. And we don't get to see any more. As we meet him out in the world, I think we need to meet him a total of 3 times out in the world. We will be able to read more and more of his backstory. Similarly, we've met Nana. Everyone holds a story close to their heart. People on this island are no exception. They're searching for an end to their story. And she has a copy of the Demon King Chronicle, specifically Chapter 1, Tower. And the only other thing we can read in here is her story. Once upon a time, there was a little girl. She was always surrounded by smiling faces and was blessed with a peaceful life. However, that happiness didn't last forever. Her beloved grandfather was beset by a terrible illness. The girl spent every day surrounded by dark and sad memories. For that poor girl, there were only 2 things she looked forward to. First, her younger brother, who would soon be born. Her only other small joy in life was playing with a neighborhood boy, who she had become good friends with. One day the girl snuck outside once again and went to meet the boy. Just like always, she carried her favorite book, the Demon King Chronicle. And those will be fleshed out more as we get more and more of them. So by talking to Aaron, he'll teach us some magic. The skill Fire Wave, which is hugely important to this early stage. We'll also probably want to talk to him every time we come in just to advance certain plot elements. Now, I believe right now the hair would kind of be overkill, but it would... Oh, actually, I should heal after doing that. And actually... let's go full overkill on this. May as well have as much SP as possible. Now, if you're noticing, or seem to be noticing, the rats becoming slightly more aggressive once we've already gotten into combat with one, that's not wrong. You know, I kind of want this bottle. I wasn't sure I could get the additional rat in a location that would work well. One of the interesting things is that even relatively early on, the rats are not super dangerous unless you're, doing something like having that hair equipped. But to acquire the hair, you do kind of need to know it's there, so... it's not something most people are going to run into at this point in time on their first playthrough. I'm gonna go up there. Yeah, if I don't go up here, I'm not going to remember to until a while later. And what's up here is, I believe, another talk with Nana. As well as a few items. I think they're just both 10 gold. Want to hear something interesting? This is supposed to be the Demon King's castle. And if you notice me occasionally just start walking slower when next to a wall, that's because I'm using the diagonal to try to make sure that I'm as close to avoiding combat as possible. I think the HP's well, actually no. I think the energy restore is probably still going to be more valuable because the SP is going to be more important for determining longevity than anything else right now. And there are a technically limited amount of the glass fragments, but it's very unlikely we will end up with a low amount of glass bottles ultimately. Because I think it's more than half of the chests in the game contain glass fragments. Which, I mean, that's not a bad thing. More bottles, more healing is always good. But, this is a short little tutorial as far as hidden walls. The magic bean is very important, very useful. We've been having relatively poor luck as far as actually getting drops. We don't have a lot of stuff to sell, even were we to go back right now. A couple pieces of the rat meat. Not used to that frog being quite so aggressive. And if it seems like I'm decent at the encounter radiuses, which they are actual radiuses, or they are actual circles, I should say, not radiuses. I am actually not good enough at it for late game right now. I mean, I'm not good enough at it for even just a few areas in right now. The red enemies, which we've not shown off, are more dangerous, but also they don't respawn immediately. So that's a gold, that's basically nothing. And this is another little short. Can you tell that there's something wrong here? Our reward for that is a pretty decent item. Also works okay as a, probably be comparing that to the millet. It works okay as a all-purpose. Actually, we can compare other things and see that, you know, like the magic bean's pretty good, and I actually probably have that glass fragment equipped. Because we're at full health, this might be a little bit dangerous. And it would definitely be dangerous if we did not have the SP to do a fire wave. We are once again at full SP. I don't think I showed off, but that chest requires either 25 or 30 attack power to open. We don't have a way to get there right now. We will basically as soon as we start getting into the next area. That won't be for a little bit. Or I guess I should say we will have the potential to once we start getting into the next area. There's no guarantee that we will get the required drop quickly. Yeah, I just don't want to go up against two frogs right now. Especially when a single fire wave's not a guaranteed kill for him. And the game does keep track of when you get killed. There is an enemy here, but I don't think we could kill it right now. So instead, let's go back and sell some stuff. See about picking up maybe the first armor in Aaron's shop. Okay, so we only need to sell a little bit. A story whose beginnings are as mysterious as its incomplete ending. Don't you feel a strange appeal? I count myself lucky just to be standing in the land where the Demon King Chronicle was written. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. And we can actually get I believe we can get a little bit more of Nana's story. Yeah. I don't think she has anything. Oh, no, she does. If you want a happy ending, all you need to do is defeat the final boss. Don't you think it'd be great if it really worked like that? Especially for employment. Nana's story number 2. At their usual spot next to the rocky shore, the boy patiently waited for her. When the girl waved, the boy responded with a smile. The girl took out the Demon King Chronicle. It was the tale of an adventurer climbing to the top of a very tall tower. They really loved the story and always read it together. Many monsters stood in the way of the adventure, but he pressed on, paying no heed to danger. And when he finally reached the top, the adventurer prayed to the spirit of a beautiful woman, telling her his greatest desire. Well then, what should we play today? The girl remembered her grandfather, her strict but kind grandfather that she loved so dearly. Even now, her grandfather was battling with his illness. That's when both of them decided they would climb the tower. They would both become the hero Sarah, and tell their wish to the spirit at the top of the tower. The two of them headed towards the tower standing over the girl's house. And one of the things I really like about this is that it fairly consistently seems to have the early stories be at least a little bit hopeful. Which I guess is spoilers for once we reach the later bits. They're not hopeful in the slightest. I think this is a one-time fight. Oh, that should have been a, oops. Well, I mean, I was dead anyway. We can't quite take out the giant frog yet. At least not with our current setup. Probably would have done a bit better with the pajamas on. So let's give that another shot. If it's going poorly, I'll just hit F12, but... Oh yeah. Now, right now our exploration is a little bit limited, owing to the fact that we can't get by that giant frog yet. I'm just double checking to make sure I've grabbed everything. That level is probably sufficient to get us to the point where we, assuming we drop the air, we are probably strong enough from that point. I'm willing to bet that we will take one or no damage from most of these attacks. Oh, no. I mean, that is at heal off range now, but... that's definitely not no damage. So I think we want to get a item level with both the glass fragment and the pajamas. And probably switch the both of our bottles over to, or at least one of the bottles over to healing. Even without the hair on, it still does enough damage to one-shot rats, generally speaking. That's not the right area, I was thinking. So let's see how we fare against frogs. Well, they are a bit more dangerous, but not hugely so. And that actually provides a fairly large attack increase. Now, I know that Fire Wave has a element that gets contributed to it from regular attack. I don't know how much that is, but it looks like it's enough that we can now take out the frogs with it. We're now back at a fairly similar amount of damage as we were doing with the hair equipped. A little bit less on average, though. Okay. Yeah, this is definitely way more doable. And it just drops a frog meat, which I believe is also the item the other frogs would drop. Empty bottle. Additional bottles early on are always very useful. And we can't pass through the barrel from that side. Had a big sneeze there. Hopefully I did not bring it back too quickly. Or actually, managed to hit the button correctly. Now, since we don't have the hair on, these are dangerous, but not, like something we're going to be losing against regularly. We just need to heal up maybe a little bit after each fight. And if we use a fire wave, we can get away with only taking a single round of hits. We definitely don't want to get into multiple fights. I was really hoping that we would get a monkey tail drop there. It's a very useful drop this early on. The turtles have a bit more defense than the monkeys. Understandably so. And I rather like almost all the music, really, but this music for the Hamlet, I think, just works really well. Now, our first priority, once we get the... Man, we are not having luck with that. I believe Turtle Blood has defensive. Yeah, that's probably going to be useful. Our first priority once we unlock the skill point thing equivalent is going to be getting additional recovery limit. For whatever reason, I thought I was thinking we were nearing a level, but I guess it was farther off than I was remembering. The monkeys will never drop a tail. I mean, not at this rate, anyway. The one defense is fairly minor, but as it levels up, it will increase in and add an additional point of defense every time it gains levels. I'd really like to replace the glass fragment with a monkey tail because it would be better in every way, but really just doesn't want to drop. Yeah, we've gotten 2 turtle bloods and no monkey tails. Now, this area can definitely be a death trap due to the presence of the red enemies. Actually didn't do enough damage to and this is kind of the first spot where you're going to want to familiarize yourself with the area before you take on too many enemies. The reds here aren't a huge step up. They're not a huge step up in the first area either, for that matter, but hey. I'd really rather avoid conflict with them when I don't have to. So fortunately, due to location, I was able to get away with only doing this one fight against 2 monkeys there. Fortunately, most of these enemies are not especially dangerous yet. And this will get a shortcut to the way back. Well as a really good piece of armor. It's stronger than the pajamas, even though the pajamas have a level on it. And it has a purpose for when it's not being used as armor. It provides a pretty decent amount of attack. Now that tends to be the way most people are going to build Camille, as an attack-based character. This also lets us see how the ferocious rats are. Not as bad as I anticipated. And this tends to be how a lot of areas go. You are struggling to make it through, start going into a new area, pick up a piece or two of equipment, and are all of a sudden doing a lot better. The problem is as time goes on, you're in a position where things are only really usable because you have gotten them up to level 3. And of course, certain pieces really need to get to level 3 just to be good anyway. Not everything scales in an obvious way. Most things have a simple 1.2 times scaling per level. But there's a few things that basically double their statisticals or stat gains per level. Of course, those are much more powerful. And there's a few stats that aren't shown here. Now, if we can do this one at a time, which if the rats get too close, we can force by exiting the room and then re-entering. We should be able to do this relatively few problems. Unfortunately, Fire Wave doesn't help us here. And of course, when we initiate combat, they do speed up a little bit. I believe Rat Whiskers are just another HP item. Oh. I'm incorrect. They do provide a little bit of HP, but they also provide a little bit of crit. Unfortunately, crit's not normally that great. It's inconsistent. I could just sit there and let it heal up, but and I do have a stamina restore. The worst part here is I'm pretty sure this isn't even that great of a chest. Well, it's still not that great of a chest, but it's not for the reason that I was thinking it was. Because I was thinking it was just going to be another glass fragment. Okay. So that is a higher attack level. I believe this is when, either this level or a few levels ago is when Camille started getting 3 attack per level. And that continues for a while. For considerably higher attack than skill is one of the reasons why I believe, most people tend to end up building her as a physical attacker. Also the fact that there's just a fair amount of gear for it. And yeah, we have enough for another bottle and we can sell some stuff. Also, we can open that chest down here. Maybe not by base, but... And everybody's just saying the same things they were before. And we don't want to sell equipment. Basically ever. How much is... Actually, I'm gonna hold off on that. I think the mirror is probably the better of the two. That should sell them rat meat as a result. we can see that this has the stats, and technique is actually listed as skill in your equipment list. And this is saying that, you know, your items level up, so on and so forth. Your, I guess it was this one that mentions that, oh no. Oh, this is where it mentions you must equip weapons in the weapon slot and armor in the armor slot in order for their proficiency to increase. Oh, and that's actually super important. There's no set path. Follow your own instinct and complete the various goals in the game at your own pace. That's not entirely true. There may not be a set path, but it's very easy to not be able to progress, basically. Because you just don't have the capability of dealing with the enemies you're fighting. So we can get energy, which is SP, or stamina, which is HP. Even though we are not currently using SP, and most likely will not be for a bit, there's more HP increasing gear than SP increasing. And these are some of the more useful ones. Energy recovery max up, and stamina recovery max up. Agility up's okay, but it's situational. Skill up, stamina up, and attack up for a character we've not met yet. Or at least not had in our party yet. Oh. I guess this mentions the mirror when you use it. Skill points can be gained by clearing certain objectives, and we can't see what they are until we actually unlock them, unfortunately. So the mole has gotten further up. What? I'm busy right now. You want something I dug up? Just take it, alright? But nobody else has unlocked anything, because we've not unlocked anything. More bottles are always good. And I didn't show it off, but there is, next to the entrance for the nest, there is a spot where we could use the magic bean. I'm gonna use it instead on, there's a spot in here. Yeah, okay, so it looks like sometimes we can take the monkeys out in a... while taking only a single retaliatory round. And our defense is getting to the point where that's not necessarily going to be a lot of damage. I'd say 2's probably a bad idea, but that's not a guarantee anymore. I suspect the turtles actually probably do more damage on average to me than the monkeys do now. And they certainly will after we get that on. Now, the question is, what spot do we equip that in? The salad's another strong defensive piece of gear. And if it seems like I'm going strongly defensive, well, that's right. That is, one of the ways to make this a lot easier early on. You can get to the point where the monkeys aren't damaging you. That book just says we're forced to abandon this town. And it makes sense. I mean, these monkeys and turtles and everything else that's aggressive. But basically, if, you get to the point where the monkeys aren't damaging you, there's no reason not to grab a whole stack of them. Because that's a lot of XP. Although we already are at the point where not too likely to gain that many more levels from here. Enemies just are not worth enough. How do we enter this? Okay, so other side. I'm interested in it because it has a banded chest, which tends to mean that it's not going to be a glass fragment. Jerky. Okay, so it prevents poison, which is what the little poison text over it means. But otherwise, it's nothing special. Okay, so there's Randolph in there. And a save. You're not from the continent, are you? For whose sake and for what purpose are you creating this story? I think both of these are just 5 gold. Oh, 10 gold. There is a very limited amount of gold just out about in the world. Most of the gold we get is going to be from selling stuff. Alma, one of Zelfi's right-hand men, he's well known for his leadership and skill at commanding men into battle. He originally met Zelfi as an enemy general on opposing sides of the battlefield, but was recruited by Zelfi afterwards. And we have not met the name Zelfi before. But he has been plot relevant prior to that little bit of text. Okay. Actually, I can probably take out the red turtle that's protecting this stuff. Another glass fragment, and a recipe. Recipe's nothing special. I think probably returning up to the top right is the better call. I do eventually want to make all the recipes, but it'll be a while before we have the stuff for that recipe. Oh, it looks like I didn't notice it, but I'm guessing either the armor or salad got a proficiency up. Little blood belly. And 11 is apparently enough that the monkeys, unless they get lucky, just don't do damage anymore. And fighting a few of them, I think that was the salad proficiency up, which will be another point of defense. But yeah, it basically requires them to crit to do damage. I mean, there's also the turtle, but... one negative with fighting a whole bunch of enemies. I mean, while that was a 66 experience, is a lot of experience still. One negative is that it is counted as only a single battle. Now the red monkey is likely still very dangerous. I'd prefer to fight it on its own. Red monkey is actually a blue monkey. Yeah, just like the red turtle. But fortunately, the regular enemies of the area we can fight to get our resources back. Doesn't look like there's anything in here. And that area is a trap. I'd like to get in there all the same, but it's a trap. And I've got no problem with slowly taking out the red monkeys. I just don't want to bite off more than I can chew right now. the regular turtles can still cause damage. Okay, so this is basically a safe encounter, as we can just go up and heal. Actually makes this entire area fairly safe. And that will also mean that that is a way back. So this will be where the shortcut for the hamlet leads. Obviously there is a fort further on, but that's not necessarily attached to the hamlet. Okay, so look at this. What a rare sight. Your namesake's flowers are blooming, Camille. Wonder how many years it's been since I've seen flowers like this. By the way, I believe Randolph was in his room just a moment ago. Now, that means that we can read at least his second story now. X month, X day. He used to be such a careless boy, but now he's grown quite fearless. I wonder what changed him. Maybe his new interest in sword fighting? Or to see a thief swinging a sword around. The kid's still shy and afraid of strangers, so he always hides behind me when someone visits. X month, X day. I parted ways with Eretz. Though he was scared at first, even my kid warmed up to Eretz. He even looked a little sad when he left. Still the only one who can read his expressions, though. By the way, I received a book from Eretz. He said it should be right up my alley. At least I'll have a new story to read to the kid. Read it to him later. Yes. I wrote about a book, but on closer inspection, it's actually not even a full book. There's only 3 chapters to it. I think he just pawned some of his crap off on me. And that's the Demon King Chronicle. I meant to try to read the third one, but the game wouldn't have let us anyway, since we've only run into Randolph twice. Okay, so he's just saying the same crap. And that's not enough to buy anything. Oh. Owing to our more melee focus, the energy restores, I think, are just a little, or the stamina restores, rather, are just a little bit more valuable than the energy restores. Ah, yes, this is to the next area. It is a nice long path the first time. And it's difficult to read, but it's the snowfields. Path to a mountain with a great view, path to a mountain with a crap view. But we can't actually fight anything there. For a few reasons, we would just get torn to pieces. And yes, that's despite us not really caring about many of the red encounters here. Now, what I'm hoping for is for this monkey to come down and get close enough that we can sneak in. Because the enemies... There's a trigger directly north of where I'm standing. And if you are in the just about to enter combat state, you ignore triggers. Now, if that sounds dumb as hell, it is. But it's also a way to get the rewards from here early. In theory. Sometimes the monkey just doesn't want to cooperate. And when I say cooperate, it really has to cooperate. It has to be basically inside the wall. And I think it's about here is the furthest you can do it. But like when I was really doing it, what I would do is probably come over from the left, and if it didn't start going down immediately, I'd just leave. Still need to find where that magic bean's used here, but not a huge deal. That is one of the other advantages of a melee-oriented Camille. You tend to not notice when some of the chests require a certain amount of attack power. Because a lot of times you're going to be at or above that anyway. Unless you're using a build that's focused on, you know, attacking a lot or getting a lot of hits, something of that nature. Oh, we can't get through that anyway. Oh. I was thinking this was an area that we had been in before, but you can tell by that still having gold that it is not. I don't think there's actually anything in the building is the issue. No, there's a couple base level chests. That one's actually pretty good. It's a little redundant until we have additional people in the party. But the salad is very strong. Right now it's providing us 3 health, 5 SP, and 3 defense. That having been said, the major value of a lot of these fights isn't the fight in and of itself, it's not the XP or anything like that. It's just the additional fights for your gear and whatever drops the enemy has. Oh, here is where we needed to go. But it's not actually here, it's the entrance to here from the south side. Because we can't actually get in here. which is, as always, annoying. But this will be relevant eventually, once we have a way to deal with those, that scorpion. Which I don't even know that we can do damage to the scorpion right now. If we can, it'll be 1 or 2. And it'll probably respond with an attack that does 20 or 30. This is a very quiet place. When I come here, my heart is put at ease. That's one of the weird things with Nana. A lot of the times when you find her, she's in kind of narrow spaces. Talking about how calming they are. So I think the easy way to get to where that will be. Let's just drop a save real quick. Is going to be going around. And the reason for that is going to be that the item that we can get from that, using the magic bean there, is very strong. It's a sword that will last us quite a while. I don't think we can do anything with the well. So I think it's up and then on the next screen up as well. Yeah, all of the defense we have is actually getting to the point where it's tough for the red enemies to really hurt us without using an ability of some kind. Yeah. Using Fire Wave just because it'll take a turn off the how long the battle lasts. Well, I mean, actually, it depends upon how. Okay, so we have something at 3 stars now, the Karate Chopstick. Which of course means that as soon as we get another weapon, we can move that over to being an all-purpose item. Okay, so Milolanis, a very ill-tempered person normally. He's renowned as a soldier who has a strict sense of duty. He was originally taken in and owes his current position to Zelfi, who does not discriminate soldiers by their upbringing or ancestry. He is well trusted by his men. And the magic bean, I think it takes like an hour of gameplay to fully grow. Might be a little bit less, but it's pretty close to an hour. for now, I think it's time to give the snowfields a shot, since we are not having any trouble really here. That level appears to have come with a possibly the various equipment level ups that have happened along the way. Appears to have come with the positive of now it's just 3 attacking turns to kill the tortoises. I'm actually curious, owing to the fact that it has been a while since I've fought one, how dangerous the red monkeys are. Looks like the answer's still a bit. Variants can make them a lot more dangerous. Which isn't surprising. But yeah, I believe this monkey just follows an entirely random pattern, so whether it will come over or not is just random chance. And we got a item level up. The turtle blood is also level 3 now. The monkey paw you'd think would be pretty decent, but it's just an HP item. And we have better just HP items. Or I guess I should say, just HP really kinda sucks when compared to HP and defense. And that's a 3rd time seeing Randolph. Now, in this area, it is important to avoid conflict whenever possible. Because of those. I'm not actually sure which of these is stronger. But yeah, there are ambush attackers that are super fast and attack you if you are already in conflict with something. Now, fortunately, even though it looks like we slow down when we're going at an angle, because of the fact that enemies do not have the ability to run at a diagonal, and I think that we are only slowing down to like 2/3 speed in each direction, that puts us at a fairly significant advantage. I do actually want to go up to the mountain with a great view first. I am pretty sure that's going to be a game over. Fortunately, the blue were not especially aggressive. And they need to effectively see you, but I'm saving, but not in the same slot. And this is the mountain with a great view. Now, you know, it's pretty neat looking. We don't know what that hole is. And this is Hikukumo. Try not to inhale too much of the snow here. It's not good for you. Is this a Dragon Guard situation? Is this Dragon Ash? There's supposed to be a dragon living here. Who decided on that setting? And if you are seeing a little bit of flickering on the stream, that's not from OBS or capturing it in improper resolution or aspect ratio or not 1:1. That's occasionally the snow just flickers. I don't know what it is. But yeah, we are going back down and saving real quick. Actually, we can go back to the hamlet and we can finish up the third of Randolph's stories. Oh, there's... As he just walks the hell out. The flowers have been trampled on. How terrible. This is no doubt the work of the coward. Please be careful, Camille. By the way, I believe Randolph was in his room just a moment ago. No, he just fucking left. By the way, I saw Nana Elewanto in her room just a moment... Oh, did I get another one of her stories? By the way, I'm pretty sure Hikukumo was in his room just a moment ago. Oh, we can actually make a fair number of bottles. I'm heading to the mountain where the white dragon lives. And if the white dragon does not sound familiar, that is the story that whoever was writing this diary used to read to Randolph. Randolph had his 10th birthday. By the way, I'm treating the kid's birthday as the day I found him. You compare him to it before, he's gotten a lot tougher. I'm very proud of him. I'm still reading that book to him, the one I got from Eretz before he left. It's a story about a hero who defeats a dragon. It's similar to the story of the white dragon, but Randolph still seems to enjoy it. I want him to grow up to be strong enough to defeat a dragon. It's been 18 years since I left the village. I guess I'm starting to feel homesick. Returning to the village and living with Randolph in peace doesn't sound too bad. I've been thinking like that lately. I'm sure everyone from the village would accept him with open arms. This is the last entry in the diary. Ooh, and we have Nana's third story as well. That's not right. Okay, so it's just awkward angles. The two of them held hands and climbed up the narrow staircase. The two walked on while reminiscing about their past. Playing in the sandbox, catching bugs, playing with birds, looking for treasure that had washed up on the beach. All of these were important memories. The girl talked about her beloved grandfather. When she spoke of her grandfather's illness, the boy looked very sad. She also talked about her brother, who would soon be born. Hearing this, the boy was very happy for her. They were finally able to see the very top of the tower. As they reached the last step, the two of them stopped. The girl turned to face the boy. The boy turned to face the girl. Their eyes met, they nodded in unison, and took the last step together. Suddenly, the boy was blown backwards and tumbled down the stairs. In front of the girl stood a demon. The demon stepped past the girl and stopped in front of the moaning boy. The demon raised his cane high above his head and beat Joel with all of his strength. "Stop! Stop!" The girl cried out. "Stop! Please stop!" The girl continued to cry out. The demon, Joel. The demon continued beating Joel. "Stop! Please stop it! Grandpa!" The demon appeared in the visage of the girl's grandfather. Finally, the boy stopped moving. Just in case you thought that, any of these stories were going to end well, Kumo also has a copy of the Demon King Chronicle. His appears to be the ocean, and he has this. Whatever it is. Kumo Story 1. Hey. As I sat with my head down, I heard a voice above me. I lifted my face and locked gazes with Eretz. "Not enough sleep? Geez, you really don't have a care in the world." He smacked me on the shoulder heartily. Ouch. This natural ease he possesses, it reminds me of the differences between people. Even though we were about to kill a person. "I'm counting on you, Kumo. The whole world rests on your actions." Eretz returned back to his usual spot beside the rocky shore. Once again, I'm left in silence. Cold wind teases my face. Bathed in the pale moonlight, I hid myself in the bushes. Kumo's past is not that great either, but I mean, Eretz is apparently involved in things both good and bad from what we have seen. Break time. Want to hear a story? Sure. There used to be a man I was greatly indebted to. I challenged him to a fight, and I was defeated. These scars are a constant reminder. Do you understand my history now? I see. I believe the answer, if you nod, is also I see. Oh, we have more, battle status, yeah. I've not accidentally shown that this time, though. Wait, do we have money? We do have money. Survive over 150 battles, and find 30 treasure chests. Now, both are very useful. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the energy max. And I believe we are at the point where we can advance, yeah. Hey, come over here. Recently, there have been multiple instances of a mysterious person tearing up the residents' stories and stealing their gold. There's a name for this person. We've been calling them the Coward. However, alright, let me be frank. The true identity of the Coward is one of our residents. All the information gathered from the crime scenes points to this fact. Emil, you're the newest person here. There's no way you're the Coward. I feel like I can trust you, so what I tell you now stays between us, okay? I've been laying out plans to catch the culprit in a trap. There's 100 gold hidden in the jar. That's what I told to Leilaria. At the same time, I told Hikukumo there's 200 gold hidden in the dresser. Just like that, I've told all the residents where I've been hiding my gold. I'm giving out this information with great care while being as subtle as possible. Take a look at this, please. I dropped a memo pad like this and let the culprit pick it up. Month X, Day X, stashed 100 gold under the jar. Try not to forget. Other notes. Very embarrassing information about my private hobby is written in the XXX part. What do you think? If it's a nice person who picks it up, they'll probably think about it for a second. Probably experience some awkward and unpleasant thoughts before pretending like they didn't see it, right? On the other hand, if the Coward picks it up, how will they react? I'm looking forward to this. I hate to repeat myself, but I really do trust you. You're the only one who knows about this. I doubt I need to worry about you telling anyone else anyway. Now I just have to wait for them to get caught in the trap. Interestingly, that does stop all music for right now. Yeah, we probably want to keep at least one turtle blood. And that salad. But once we go back out here, there's music once again. I need to stretch my shoulder real quick, so I'll be right back. Sorry about that. I slept on my shoulder wrong a few days ago. And just when it gets extremely tight, I need to stretch it out a bit. And the easiest way is to use a doorway. And of course, as a result, I can't really, well... as I was saying, I can't really do that from my desk. That's a lot of chests. Random variants. I didn't know those could actually walk upstairs. Okay, so that was just for a glass fragment. But time to sit here until we lose the yellow. I do think it was a good idea to focus on the SP regen. Also got very lucky there. Now, one of the things that makes this area somewhat difficult is, even if we had gotten the drops from these things, they're not really anything special, as I recall. Well, this could be over if we get yeah, like that's one of the problems is if I was just a few levels higher, our HP total would be at the point where I wouldn't need to worry as much about, oh fuck, random variants. Oh, this is bad. since they're far enough away from each other that can't hit them with the, That's also real bad. Random variants could kill us there, but did get lucky. And that's the kind of luck you basically need to survive. When you're, drastically outmatched against a lot of this stuff. Oh, what is the bushy tail? It is just HP. Now that's not bad. There are some things that are effectively just HP checks. Oh. Where's Aaron gone? Why can't we just steal it? He's not here. But the bushy tail's big value is that it sells for 200. Everyone, please gather. I have a very important announcement. Everyone, please gather. Camille, you're the coward, aren't you? Such an unfortunate turn of events. Also, if you look at the top, you can see the bottom of Mole. Can't see his face, though. I saw what you did. No use trying to hide it. I saw you pilfer gold from Aaron. You were the one destroying everyone's treasured stories, too, weren't you? I really hate to do this, but we will have to punish you for this. First of all, you must return the gold to Aaron. Even if it was only 200 gold, it doesn't affect the weight of the crime. Now, hurry up. Oh my, this is really terrible. One of our lovable residents was actually the enemy we've come to despise so. Aaron. It really was an unfortunate turn of events. Thank you to everyone for Leilaria. You remember the memo where I wrote this plan down? Showed the hiding place for my gold. And other embarrassing personal things which I can't talk about here. You remember that memo? Of course I do. And just as you expected, the culprit fell for the trap completely. I expected nothing less from your genius plan, Aaron. Yeah, about that memo. I never gave it out to anyone. What? This really is unfortunate, Leilaria. You're the only one I trust, so you're the only person I can tell this to. I told that to everyone here. That's right, I said the same thing to everyone. However, I made sure I changed the details each time I told it to a new person. Each time I told the story, I changed just one detail. Whether it was who, where, or how much. Oh, shut the hell up, you little prick. You think you can lecture me over 200 measly gold? Smokescreen? Now, the interesting thing... Mole blocks your way that way. Now everybody's just coughing or saying whatever. Oh, we can't actually, I really like this, even if it's just, I think, MIDI version of Oboe. I also like that the fights don't interrupt the music. That'll probably be helpful. Ilaria, I make you angry. At what exactly? You can all just burn in hell for all eternity. She's an interesting fight. Because her basic attacks are meaningless. High heel kick hurts. We're going to be healing reasonably frequently whenever we get to the point where a high heel kick would potentially mess us up. Now, one of the things, though, is that high heel kick appears to use SP. And she doesn't have an unlimited amount. It just feels like she does when, you know, you don't have that many stamina restores. But if you notice her not doing anything, I believe that's her trying to use high heel kick, but because she doesn't have the SP for it, she can't. So it becomes a slap fight. It provides no experience, but she does drop a ruined story. Now, the Ruined Story provides some skill, a little bit of HP, some SP, a little bit of critical. It's kind of weird as far as what stats it actually provides. Oh dear, I don't think I was supposed to do that. Yeah, normally you're supposed to let that fade to black, but because you tend to still have character control during a lot of the fade to black sequences, it doesn't always work properly. Okay, so attack power 150 or higher. How close can we even get to that? Nowhere near. Now we still only have the one Hikakumo. We did not actually get a chance to go over and talk to Nana. I wonder, what did she actually want to accomplish? And we still can't go in there. About the ending to the Demon King Chronicle 1. In this story, each chapter takes place from the point of view of a different hero, but the story remains unfinished due to the author's death. A story without an ending is spurred on by the imagination of the reader, and each person will craft an ending that fits their interests. Imagining an ending to a story is, in itself, one part of enjoying a story. That's all well and good, however I can't help but wonder what kind of ending did the author, Harold Deester, have in mind? I have a hypothesis regarding the ending. It's something I've surmised about hearing an incident on a certain island. And it will be continued in his later pieces. I still think this is probably the best place for us to try to get some level of advancement. Just because even with needing to avoid most fights, we still can take down the Reds. Provided I don't, do incredibly stupid things like that. I'm curious about the blues. I was going to take the exit to the right, but I was actually too far away from it when I got the attention of that thing. Okay, so I need to heal first. Okay, so what he can drop is an apple. What do apples do? Oh, Salad can actually get another level. Interesting. Well, they prevent poison. They provide attack and SP, oddly. Actually might be more useful than the monkey tail once leveled up. I believe that the red encounters tend to operate on the same type deal as the blue encounters tend to operate on the same deal as the red encounters. And that they're gone for a bit. Let's go check out and see if the vine has grown. It won't be obvious from the top, so... we'll actually need to head over there. And I think I was right last time where I said that it was quicker to return and then... than it is to go around. But this way does have a few advantages, namely in that we get a good number of fights we wouldn't get otherwise. But yeah, and the fire skills seem to have a fairly large range, and that is... I believe they have a... oh, I was gonna actually mention what the name is, but I think it's... the radius or whatever it is for them is supposed to be 180. And that... notepad thing mentions that the full coverage is 360. So. It is intended to hit a lot of things, so it is a good thing that it does. Actually, I think that is where we need to go. Here and then left one. Or two. Yeah, I think when we are finished with this, it is a lot fewer areas to progress, just to traverse, just to go back into the Demon King's castle. Not quite. Okay. Well, I guess, that does probably answer my question as to whether it is time-based or number of fights-based. since I did get into a lot of fights there. Pretty sure that definitely pegs it as just straight up time-based. I think that was the last thing we have. That actually, what I'm gonna do is keep that equipped. I'll swap that over. That'll increase our range. It doesn't. I mean, it hurts the attack a bit, but it's not as bad as I was worried it was gonna be. Did we get any more fragments? No. And one of the reasons for doing that is that the extra attack +1 tends to be very strong when it goes off. Actually should be attacking the monkey, not the mutt. It just apparently doesn't want to go off. And I'm headed up here because I'm curious to see if the... No, apparently the blue one does not follow the same rules. Or maybe it's been enough time that the reds have respawned. I can check that. I think it was fairly early on in here that the first red that we can encounter was, so... No, I guess the blue ones just follow a different set of rules. Interesting. Well, time to grind out on mutts for a while, or possibly the monkeys. I'm not sure which one of the two actually dropped the bushy tail. I think it's the mutt though, because I think got the one that I have. Had, I should say. In a fight that just had 2 mutts. Oh, and I guess it's the monkeys that dropped the apple. Interesting. But yeah, I think this has been a fairly good demonstration as to why the extra attack +1 is really powerful. Even if it is fairly inconsistent. And that's actually one of the reasons why I wanted the item that's behind that magic bean anyway, which I think there's probably been enough time for. Wait, no, it's through the thing down. Because it, as a weapon, provides its own extra attack +1. I'm just gonna go back to the hamlet. Which, much like with the monkeys, means you have a pretty easy way to just increase your damage. Because if you... I think it's skill-based. I think that the number, or the percentage chance of it going off is skill-based. So you increase that, and you increase your attack, and it's effectively doubling up the value of your increased attack. It's just, you know, doesn't go off as frequently as you'd like. And then for whatever reason in this fight it went off twice in the first 2 rounds. It's not reliable, but it is very useful. And sometimes it seems like the more things you're hitting, the more, the better odds of it going off, which is weird and doesn't make any sense. So I don't think that's actually the case. But now not now. Now we have the Kelbalade, which I'm certain I'm mispronouncing. And it's a very capable weapon. Provides some crit, provides some agility, a fair amount of damage. In the extra slots, it still provides some attack, some crit, and some agility, and the extra attack 1. So it's just pretty good all around. I don't know if 2 items with extra attack plus 1 stack. I've never checked it, so may as well do so. I mean, even if it just ends up being a greater chance to get that extra attack, that's still really good. And it certainly seems to have increased the odds, given that it's happened every time so far. Though that might just be that when it's on a weapon you have equipped, it's much more likely, or it could be based off relative agility levels, or any number of things. Ah, that's the first time it didn't go off. Still seems to go off more frequently than it had been. So I think I'm going to stick with that, since the alternative's a point of attack and 6 points of crit. I don't know that crit really seems worth it. But I think that is going to... Well, actually, I never did show off this. To really show it off, I should actually do a save first. So, this area does not have anybody in it. Oh, it does have Kumo in it. I forgot that he was here. Looks like this was being used as the coward's trash heap. And that's a glass fragment and more of his story. I'll have to remember to grab that. that's an HP check. You can tell by how long that it takes. We're not going to have that HP. Additionally, I believe that that long of a fall tends to break most of your bottles anyway. So that's real rough. That one's just a tough one to survive. We're a long ways out from that. That is going to be it for me, though. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will be back tomorrow trying out Sokabond, a game that Twitch gave away for Twitch Prime subscribers. And I have low expectations because of the other games for Twitch Prime that I've played. Anyway, that's it for me.